There are certain categories of people who are known as inadmissible people to Canada. They're not allowed to make a refugee claim. There could be many reasons why someone is inadmissible in Canada, but some of the most common ones are if someone is a security risk to Canada, someone has committed a crime against humanity under the international law, or someone who has been convicted of a serious crime outside of Canada or inside Canada, or someone who is engaged in organized crimes. These are all in criteria for inadmissibility. People could also be inadmissible for misrepresentation to the immigration. So if somebody is providing false information or providing fraudulent documents, they could be inadmissible. People could also be inadmissible if they fail to comply with the act. For instance, if the CBSA gives them some conditions that they should leave Canada by this time, or they should, come at a particular date for an interview, but they don't, that they could also be inadmissible. And if you're inadmissible to Canada, you're not allowed to make a refugee claim. So when people are making refugee claims, sometimes people don't realize that they are providing information to the CBSA that may actually make them inadmissible. For instance, somebody is probably trying to make a refugee claim on the basis that they are a member of a political party in another country, but they probably don't know that the CBSA might say this party is engaged in violence and act of terrorism. So you're volunteering information and which may make you inadmissible to Canada. So we advise that before making the refugee claim, you should consult with a lawyer or immigration professional and seek legal advice. If you come from certain countries, such as the United States or some other countries that Canada has designated, you would have limited right, or you may not actually be able to make a refugee claim. So if you're coming from the United States, there is an agreement between the United States and Canada known as STC, a Safe Third Country Agreement. And under this agreement, you are not allowed to make a refugee claim unless you can show that you fall within one of the exceptions. There are 4 exceptions. Number 1 is a family member exceptions, which means if you have a first blood family member in Canada, like your brother, sister, mother, someone like that in Canada, then you will be able to make a claim. Or if you're an unaccompanied minor, means you don't have a guardian or parents with you and you are under the age of 18, then you can make a claim. Or if you have a valid visa to Canada, then you will be able to make a refugee claim. There's also a public policy exception, which is like if you have a death penalty from another country, like US or any other country, then you will be allowed to come in, but you will not be able to make a refugee claim, but you'll be able to come in because Canada does not support death penalty. So one thing you need to remember that the STCA from the US only applies at the port of entry, the land borders. It doesn't apply if you're already in an airport, or if you already cross the border and enter into Canadian territory, then it does not apply. There's also some countries that Canada has designated. They're known as designated country of origin, such as Australia, UK, and other countries, because Canada thinks these countries don't produce refugees. If you're from one of those countries, then you have very limited rights. Your hearings will be expedited, and your removal will also be expedited. So if you are from any of those countries and trying to make a refugee claim, consult with a lawyer and legal professional. There are also some people who are known as designated foreign nationals. So if you are a victim of a human trafficking, if you're smuggled into Canada, or if you had irregular arrival, for example, if you illegally cross the border or come in any illegal means, then the minister designate can actually designate you as a designated foreign nationals. And in that case, you will be detained, you will be arrested, and you will have a review within 14 days, and the next review will be within 6 months. So you really need to consult with a lawyer before coming to Canada if you feel that you might be designated by